What was the hardest things you had to overcome when you first moved out? It was not the cooking. I always liked to cook, to be honest. It was also not that I was here without my family, because I actually really enjoyed to be with my friends and all. I always was not so often home, also in my school time. Like, I was home obviously, but I slept oftentimes at different places. I think the hardest thing was actually, or not the hardest thing, but coping with the roommates you didn't choose, you know? For me, like cooking, it's the eating alone. Actually, I like sharing meals with people. Yeah, but sometimes I do this even, you know? Like, I oftentimes cook together with the Greek guy or with one of my roommates, or not often, but a few times actually. But to be honest, I think the hardest thing, like random people, you know? Because, you know, for example, my friends lived in flats where you can choose which new people you get, and in this flat it's like they just come, you know, and you can't choose that alone at all. And damn, mamma mia, what kind of, like, all of them are nice and all, but some roommates have characteristics you can't believe, you know, like, I don't know, I think I told you the spaghetti in the toilet story, or the big ass thing vibrating story, or the yeah, it's getting only worse, to be honest. But I can feel you, Pascal. Rich Kumari, don't scare much. We will say good stories here. Yeah, it's obviously, like, I would say the good things overweight 100%. But this is, if you ask me for the hardest thing, then I would say this, to be honest, you know. I want to move out so bad. Yeah, I think moving out also brings you like a lot of, yeah, I think at one point in your life, when you get older, this has to come, you know. At least in my world, you know. I know that in some regions, some tradition, it's different, but I think it's actually kind of nice, because you also meet more people, you're more responsible with your stuff and all the stuff, you know. Some people are just weirdo. Yeah, true. After returning home, I say that life with friends, or in general, is the best. Yeah. It's actually so challenging to cope with strangers, and if they are your roommate, you have to see their faces 24/7. Hey guys, what I think, it would be a complete different thing if it would be just someone lives next to you and sleeps there, you know. This can be also, but if it comes to the point that you share the toilet together, you share the kitchen together, you share the bathroom together, you know, then it's already the point where the roommates are really in your life, you know, because you can't escape when something is dirty and all the stuff, you know. I had a drug addict roommate before. He used to hard drugs alone in his room. And I have to be honest, I'm rather live with a drug addict together than with someone who's not clean, to be honest. Like, if the drug addict is just taking his stuff, I'm good with that, you know. Like, he should do whatever he wants. But if the toilets not clean, I can tell you, hell no. I was actually in Paris. I was living for a week with that's crazy take, that is 100% take. You know, I was in Paris for 1 week with a Brazilian guy, you know, and there we went into an Airbnb and we literally lived together with a drug addict. This man was, while we were sleeping in his bed, he was sleeping next to the bed was the kitchen, and he was sleeping on the floor there with his needles, you know. Like, this man was a drug addict, and it was also not clean, but at least you could clean toilets are a must. Yeah, true. Like, at least I could sleep the rest peacefully, you know. Damn, yeah. Yeah, be careful. It's infectious, the toilet. Yeah, true. So, well, yeah, I told you guys, I was on this, after high school, I went on a trip with a Brazil guy. We went to London, to Milan, to Paris, and Paris was really, we found the cheapest from the cheapest Airbnbs, but this was an Airbnb from a drug addict, and we were really like, hell no, am I gonna sleep here? And I was discussing this with a Brazil guy, and he's like, but where should we go? And I was like, oh no, but then we stayed. But yeah, like, have you ever went to the toilet and saw things there? Guys, I live here now since 5 years. I saw things in the toilet that it's keys, the free spaghettis, full of spaghetti. Stay away from the needle. Yeah, I did. Keys. Guys, this was... Now, I have really a list. I'm talking always with my Mr. B about this because Mr. B is also highly triggered by it. And spaghetti is unhinged. Yeah, guys, did I ever told you the spaghetti story? The spaghetti story was... I thought I put it in the toilet. Madonna. Reach with a hand, pull it out. The spaghetti is blocking our toilets. It's not my spaghetti. We have only this toilet. Yeah, we need something to suck it out. You can't believe. And I was like, oh my god. What's in the toilet? Half cut it open. My bottle, you know. I clean the bottle. Was in the toilet, half cut it open, my bottle, you know. I clean the bottle,